Today, we're diving right into James McBride's novel, The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store.
Yes, we've been looking closely at an essay that really unpacks it.
And our goal is to pull out the key ideas for you, what this book tells us about community, courage, and maybe those lives that don't always get the spotlight.
Exactly. The source material gives us a great lens on that. It's about that quiet strength, the connections people forge, often under the radar.
Okay, so let's paint the picture. McBride takes us to Pottstown, Pennsylvania, but a specific part, Chicken Hill.
Right, and it's set back in the 1920s, 1930s.
And Chicken Hill is basically a neighborhood where immigrants and African Americans are living together, often sort of on the margins.
A really distinct setting. And the essay points to some central figures. There's Chona Ludlow. She runs the grocery store of the title.
The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store.
That's the one. And her husband, Moshe, he runs the local theater. And their friends, Nate and Addie Timlin. Nate the janitor there.
And Addie, his wife. But also, crucially, there's Dodo.
Ah, yes. Dodo, a young deaf black boy. His situation, it really kicks things off.
It becomes the catalyst, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So our dive today, it's really about seeing how these lives weave together in Chicken Hill.
And how these maybe unexpected bonds create a kind of resistance. Not shouting from the rooftops, but something deeper.
Something really powerful in its own quiet way.
So one of the first things the essay highlights is Chona Ludlow herself and that store.
Right. Chona, who is a disabled Jewish woman, is presented as having this incredible moral clarity, real compassion.
She sounds like the heart of it.
She really embodies this theme right away. This, almost radical act of just caring for people society tends to push aside, running that store, making it a safe space.
That's seen as an act of bravery in itself.
Definitely. According to the analysis, yes, it's foundational.
And then, almost immediately, this is put to the test, Dodo.
Yes, the inciting incident. Dodo is targeted by the state, specifically by an institution for the disabled that's depicted as, frankly, abusive.
And the community has to decide what to do.
That's the pivot point. Their choice to protect him or not, it's not just plot. It's the moral core of the whole novel. It forces everyone to confront what they stand for, what they're willing to risk.
And this is where it gets really interesting, talking about solidarity across different groups. The essay emphasizes how McBride shows the Jewish and Black communities finding common ground.
Which is key. And, as the source points out, McBride doesn't romanticize it. There are tensions, there are differences, absolutely.
It's not overly simplified.
Not at all. But layered on top of that is this shared experience. Facing discrimination, needing to be resilient, just relying on each other day to day. That forged real connections.
The essay uses a striking phrase for Chicken Hill, something like a quiet battleground.
A quiet battleground for a different kind of America. Yeah, that phrase really lands.
What does that mean, exactly?
Well, it suggests the fight isn't about politics in the usual sense, but about building a community based on this simple, powerful idea.
Yeah.
Nobody gets left behind, no matter who they are.
A quiet battleground. It implies the most vital struggles happen in these everyday spaces through ordinary choices.
Precisely. And those struggles, especially around Dodo, they naturally lead into this critique of, well, power. Institutional power, bureaucracy.
The system itself?
Right. The threat to Dodo isn't just bad luck. It's shown as reflecting how these systems have historically treated vulnerable people, the disabled, the poor, minorities.
Dehumanizing them.
Exactly. How easily that can happen within impersonal systems. It's a really sharp critique woven into the story.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. The essay also talks quite a bit about McBride's writing style. Lyrical, musical.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It feels like listening to someone tell a story. It has this rhythm, this cadence in the sentences that just pulls you in.
Oral storytelling.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And because of that style, Chicken Hill itself, it's not just a setting. The essay suggests it's so vividly drawn, it almost becomes another character. It has its own life.
And the essay gives examples of how love and community actually look in Chicken Hill, not just abstract ideas.
Yeah, concrete things like Chona giving people credit at the store when they couldn't pay.
Helping them get by.
Or someone managing to smuggle in a radio, bringing a little bit of the outside world, a bit of joy into this tight-knit place.
Or just extending a hand, helping someone out when maybe no one else would.
Those small things, they aren't small at all, are they? They're lifelines. They show solidarity in action, looking out for each other, day in, day out.
What's really remarkable, though, reading the analysis, is that despite these heavy themes, you've got racism, disability issues, prejudice, the novel isn't described as depressing.
No, not at all. It's apparently filled with humor, moments of real forgiveness, and this kind of wonder at people's resilience.
Ordinary people just getting through.
Yeah, that seems to be McBride's gift, finding that light, that humanity, even when things are incredibly tough.
So it balances the darkness.
It does. And because of that, there's this constant ethical urgency simmering underneath. Characters are constantly faced with choices.
And it makes you, the reader, think too.
Absolutely. What would you risk? What really matters when push comes to shove?
So if we were to boil it down, what's the core message the essay identifies in the novel?
I think it comes down to the dignity of lives that are often ignored or considered unimportant by the wider world.
Seeing the value in everyone.
Yes. And just as crucial, the vital role of communities like Chicken Hill. These networks that hold people up, that give them the support and belonging they might not find elsewhere.
It's like the title suggests then, the heaven and earth grocery store. That maybe heaven and earth meet in these everyday places through everyday people.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
No.
In the store, in the plans they make, in just the quiet determination to do the right thing.
History usually focuses on the big events, right? The laws, the wars, the famous names.
Exactly. But this novel, and the essay analyzing it, really reminds us that history is also shaped, maybe even more shaped, by countless unrecorded acts.
The small moments of courage.
By people like Chona, the store owner, or Nate, the janitor, or Moshe with his theater. People who chose to stand with those who were vulnerable, who were outcast or in danger.
Which really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? How much real change, how much of the foundation for anything better actually rests on those tiny, often invisible acts of solidarity and kindness, the kind we see in Chicken Hill.